Alright. Yo, peoples, what's going on? Hey, everybody. Good afternoon to everyone. At least if you're on the East Coast. For everyone else, good morning, good evening, whichever time zone you're in. Hey. Sorry, I'm not out of breath. I just ran downstairs real quick to check the mail. Supposed to be looking out for stuff. So I'm going to keep an eye and ear out for when the mail comes in. So I probably may have to step away in order to grab that. So, yeah, that's happening. But hey, yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here to bring you yet another reaction for My Hero Academia. As soon as the chapter comes up, it says new chapter coming in an hour, so I don't know if that meant it's coming up at 12 or if it's coming up at 1 o'clock. I still don't know if chapters are released on Fridays, if they get released like an hour later compared to on Sundays when it's always at 12. So I don't know if that's the case here. Maybe. I don't know. I'm willing to endure all the way up until that time. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on in My Hero Academia right now, and I am really looking forward to seeing where this next bit of story actually goes. So, as I constantly refresh the page in order to see if there's been a new chapter. No, still not new. What's going on, Karma? Also, let me acknowledge everyone in chat. Anime Zetsu Reviews, what's going on with you? Hello to you, I'm Sir. And Karma, as always, good to see you. You're always welcome here. It's good to see everyone in chat today. So we're still waiting for this chapter to come up. Now, mind you, I know I keep saying it that we're waiting for this chapter to come up is because I always read from the Viz site. Now, I know there's other places that get chapters early, get scans early, translated early, but I prefer to read these chapters from this one site because this is the same place that actually is involved with publishing these chapters when they become physical, like with the chapters that I tend to get from my bookshelf. Also, reminder, still need to get a brand new bookshelf because I am running out of space for the newer volumes that are coming out. Like, I got the volumes of Dragon Ball Super 9 and 10, but I don't have space to have it on there. I got the recent volume of One Piece over there, and the last newest volume of My Hero Academia, volume 24 over there. I still need to actually move some stuff so I can put those volumes on the shelf. I probably need to move my anime DVD collection over to my other shelf so that way, haha! New chapter! Here we go! Enough about my personal life. It's time to get to what you guys have really come here to see. Last we left off, everyone, the big shocker that pretty much shook a lot of people was the fact that at the end of the last chapter, Midoriya unlocked his next quirk, which happened to be Nana Shimura's quirk, Float. And when Shigaraki gains access to his quirks, including his Decay quirk, which he tries to use to kill everyone except for Midoriya, or just pretty much just kill everyone, Midoriya winds up jumping up into the air, grabbing everyone with his Black Web quirk, while at the same time keeping them off the ground by floating. And he also grabs Shigaraki as well and says that this is where I'm going to beat you. And then the chapter ends. So let's go ahead and see today's chapter. Chapter 284, Deep Blue Battle. If Shigaraki touches the ground again, it'll mean another wave of mass destruction. I gotta keep him up in the air. So, and here's the thing. Midoriya is using his Black Web to literally keep everyone airborne while also trying to fight Shigaraki. And as he's in there, you see his Black Web kind of shake and shimmer a little bit. No good. My control is shaky. Take care of Gran Torino and the rest. And he throws everyone back on the ground while he keeps Shigaraki up in the air. So that way he can't affect him any. They need first aid now. Get to it, Shoto. How pathetic. The #1 hero should be up there. It should be me. Hang on, Deku! You're the one guy who needs to keep his distance from that creep. He's no longer being held back by Erasure. So who else can keep Shigaraki off the ground? And then Bakugo and both Endeavor just look at him like that really kind of annoys them. And then we got Shigaraki. You like the sky that much? Good, because after I steal one for all, I'll send you straight to heaven. Same goes for that old fool and the others down there. Shigaraki still doesn't know that he can't physically take one for all. That's not how it works. If that was the case, then All for One would have taken it. But that's not how it works. You can't just, you're not Sylar. You're not just gonna slice open his mind and then just look into his brain and figure out how it works. That's not how this works, Shigaraki. Boy, if you don't sit down, it looks like when he only reached 77% completion, the rest of his brain didn't catch up. So I guess that's the case. You're not gonna hurt them anymore! And of course, such great looking detailed panels with Midoriya screaming at him. And he launches himself towards Shigaraki. And Bakugo can only look on. You want us to help with his training? What the heck? You want us to help with this training? Who's speaking? Okay, so there's Seto, there's Uraraka, and there's Tsuyu. So, what should we do? Thanks for taking the time to be here. Oh, this is a flashback to where All Might was training everybody. I'd like some advice about handling my new power. You mean Black Whip? I thought you were whipping like a pro already. And what's with the new do? Because Midoriya, for all intents and purposes, have been training with Bakugo, and Bakugo has inadvertently caused Midoriya's hair to fro out. This is because I keep losing in a training exercise we call Catch-a-Kachan with Black Whip. Haven't caught him once yet. Actually, I wanted to ask you, Cyril, about dealing with fast-moving targets since you've got a similar quirk. Catch-a-Kachan rules. If Bakugo evades capture and taps Deku, Bakugo wins. But why do explosions come into play? Once a jerk, always a jerk, huh, Bakugo? Deku's the one who said to make it like a real battle. Then tell me what I can do. I'm still learning how to use my wires. And this is Uraraka speaking. And shouldn't Aizawa-sensei be the man to teach whip techniques? Professor Uraraka, you're here to teach him about body control while breaking in midair. But Deku's already good at bouncing around. And this is All Might sound like, Professor Uraraka, you're here to teach him about body control while breaking in midair. Like, he's like, Professor Uraraka, what is your synopsis over the things that are going on right now? But Deku's already good at bouncing around. Like, hippity-hoppity. Hippity-hoppity from Tsuyu. I never thought she would say something like that. Okay. It doesn't bother me. It's just, it'd be interesting to hear that translating into the English dub. Well, more power means increased hang time. Oh, well, more power means increased hang time. Oh. And he needs to master advanced mobility in midair. As for Aizawa, your teacher is busy at the moment. And, so this must have been what was happening when Aizawa and Present Mike went to go see Kurogiri. Okay. I've already got everyone's moves written down. Sensei's too. I think we can find some common ground in terms of how we use our bodies. And it shows Uraraka floating up Deku with her quirk. Imagine you're swimming through the air, but keep your arms and legs balanced. And that's him just practicing being mobile in the air. Okay, so that's how it works. Propulsion via Air Force. Oh, there you go. And I believe he's using full cowling to move himself around. Now stay up in the air and get some coaching on Black Whip. Got it! It's going great, huh? The float quirk suspends the body in midair, much like her zero gravity. Getting a feel for it ahead of time should help him keep it under control when it manifests. Plus, conceptualizing what it's like to fly could lead to unlocking it. Oh, so he's training? He already knows he's going to eventually unlock float back then. So he's training now so he can get his body used to using float the moment it actually unlocks for him. Oh, I like that. Now we understand why he's so used to it, and it's not just like all of a sudden and he's not accustomed to it. Because he was training his body to be prepared for it the moment it actually unlocked in him. Then it's Then it's down to Bakugo speaking to All Might. You can't keep fooling people forever. This ain't just like it was just... This ain't like when it was just super strength. Pretty soon the cat's gonna fly out of the bag. I'm not telling anyone about anything beyond Black Whip, and this training should prevent the next power from exploding out the way this one did. That night, you seem to understand how someone who has greater power bestowed on them needs to think very carefully about how it puts others at risk. It's not only the wicked who seek power. Ooh. That's a very specific way to say that. So does that mean that there's someone in with the heroes that would like to have one for all? Is there someone who's jealous of All Might's power? It's not only the wicked who seek power. And then they don't say anything. Deku trusts you with his life, but in the notebook about the successors, your summary of the fourth was kinda half finished. Only that one. Meanwhile, you wrote down detailed notes for the others, like the cause of death for the 5th, 6th, and 7th. Why is that? Ooh, do we get to find out a little bit more about that? And then when I brought it up, you didn't tell me everything, huh? Well, what is it? Did you figure out something about One for All? Not yet. Oh, not yet. I don't want to speculate and talk about things I'm not sure of. Because I'm worried for him. You are too. Oh, so Bakugo is actually kind of worried about Midoriya? And what One for All could possibly be doing to him? What is it that All Might left out? He just, deep down, he doesn't take himself into account, you know. He's always been, he's just, deep down, he doesn't take himself into account, you know. He's always been like that, and now that he can do so much more, something doesn't feel right. It makes me want to keep him at arm's length. Back then, I ignored my own weakness, so I end up bullying him. But now you're... Switching between Bakugo and All Might's voice takes a little bit. But now you're sincerely helping out with his training. That's your way of trying to atone, right? Precision over power, nice and easy. I get it! Think of it as an extension of your body. Though I'm sure he doesn't see it that way. When I said you and Endeavor are a lot alike, I was talking about that change. He doesn't take a good look at himself either, until I wound up like this. You'll get a chance to talk, eventually. Not that I'm in a position to say much. Oh, and then it cuts back to the present with Endeavor and Bakugo making their way towards Midoriya. Endeavor, you gotta make this final one count! And then it shows Midoriya. Did he kick Shigaraki? Did he use a shoot style on him in midair? Because there's like this shockwave of a hit, and it shows it hitting Shigaraki's body, even some blood flying out of him. Looks like he's adapting to my 100% attacks and taking hits, but his wounds are healing slower. The damage is sticking. The last 2 100% attacks wrecked my left arm. Okay, so that does confirm what happened to him. He's wrapping his arm in Black Whip as a way, as like a little bit of a tourniquet a little bit, because he's been at 100% this whole fight, and he's been using it, and it's been messing him up. Didn't the doctor just say not to go all out until his body was used to it? Otherwise, he could wind up losing that arm forever? The last 2 100% attacks wrecked my arm. Shigaraki now possesses all for one. I always get those mixed up. Now possesses all for one. And One for All is a power passed down for the sole purpose of beating All for One. He has to go down here. Now's the moment to let it all out. Everything that One for All has to offer. It shows Midoriya winding up a punch, and then it shows Shigaraki looking like he's preparing to take the punch. No matter what happens to me! Yo! And he's just hitting him over and over again. And that's the end of the chapter. Next chapter hits September 27th. Yo, Midoriya, here's the thing. And I gotta agree with All Might. and Bakugo with this one. Midoriya really does not take himself into consideration too much when it comes to using one for all the time. When it's someone's life on the line, he doesn't pay attention to how much damage it's doing to his body. And even though he clearly knows the damage it's doing to his body, it's like that's always overshadowed. Hold on, I think I hear the mail truck. Okay, the mail truck came by. I gotta go down there and check on it. So I probably won't be too long with this. But when it comes to Midoriya using one for all, he doesn't really take his body's limits into consideration like he did when it was noticeable. But now that his body has grown a lot more used to it, he doesn't pay attention to it as often. Even though he clearly just said in this chapter that using two attacks at 100% power wrecked his left arm, he does not care. Because he knows that one for all was passed down for the sole purpose of beating all for one. And no matter what happens to him, no matter what happens to Midoriya, he's going to keep going until he actually beats Shigaraki. Because at this point in time, Shigaraki's body is still healing, but it's not hyper healing. The damage that is being done to his body by Midoriya is starting to stay, which means that he's healing slower and slower. So I honestly believe that if Shigaraki managed to reach 100% in his operation completion, if he managed to reach 100% in his operation, then he probably would be able to take a lot more punishment because he's just tanking all these hits right now. Because the main quirk that Shigaraki wants to use, he can't use because Midoriya has him airborne. But his body is still at a point where it can actually tank all these hits. Even at 100%, he's still tanking all these hits. But as long as Midoriya keeps him airborne, it allows him to, focus on Shigaraki and not have to worry about anyone else getting hurt because Shigaraki can't really injure them at this point. Now, he could use like his radio waves and air shock waves and combine them and try to injure them. But with Midoriya constantly hammering these hits in, it's going to be difficult for Shigaraki to actually try and hone in on all the rest of the heroes who are on the ground right now. And then we have Bakugo and Endeavor making their way towards both Shigaraki and Midoriya, with Bakugo saying that Endeavor, you got to make this final hit count. So maybe Endeavor's going to come up in there and get a few licks in or get one final big lick in order to make it easier for Midoriya to take down Shigaraki. Or it's going to be Bakugo who ends up using one of his attacks to try and help Midoriya take down Shigaraki. Either one of the two. But one interesting thing that popped up in this chapter, aside from Midoriya, still being airborne and using float to take on Shigaraki, was a conversation between All Might and Bakugo. Firstly, if we go back to it, in the notebook about the successors, your summary of the fourth was kind of half finished. So the fourth user, he didn't finish that. So there's more information about the fourth user that All Might is leaving out. And it was only that fourth user. Meanwhile, you wrote down detailed notes for the others, like the cause of death for the 5th, 6th, and 7th. Why is that? So the cause of death for the fourth user was not explained, nor was a summary of it explained either. So there's something about the fourth user of One for All that All Might is not telling either Bakugo or Midoriya. So I wonder how that's going to play into the future. Then when I brought it up, you didn't tell me everything. What is it? Did you figure out something about One for All? Not yet. I don't want to speculate and talk about things I'm not sure of. So he has found out something, but he does not know if there holds some truth to what he found out about this fourth user. How Bakugo loses quirk? Oh, that's just, don't pay that any mind. That's just karma. That's just karma messing around. Bakugo did not lose his quirk. It is nowhere in this chapter. Don't worry. It's just Karma messing around. He always does that. He always does that to me because he knows I'm going to see it. And he knows it can kind of trip me up sometimes because in my mind, he'll say like, no, ain't no way. Okay, it's Karma. Moving on. Don't worry about it, I'm sure. It's Karma messing around again. But with the fourth user, All Might found out something, but I feel like he didn't find out enough in order for him to come to a complete conclusion as to the information he just learned about the information he learned about the fourth user. And mind you, we don't know the name or identity of the fourth user because all we know is the bald guy and Nana Shimura and All Might, but we don't know like who the fourth user is. So I feel like if we find out some things about this fourth user, it might kind of shake up some of the things we may know about One for All. I'm just saying. Not only that, but he also says that sure, the world may find it's not going to be too long before everyone figures out that there's more to One for All. There's more to One for All than All Might has been letting on and Midoriya has been letting on. And he also says that it's not just the wicked, it's not only the wicked who seek power, which leads me to believe that there may be some heroes who kinda would like to have the power of All Might and its previous users for themselves. Not just villains, but heroes as well. From this phrasing, it makes me think that there may be someone in the Hero Association or a hero out there somewhere that actually would want All Might's power. The power of One for All. That's just what it feels like. But as far as this entire chapter goes, this is a really good chapter. And since we're getting a next chapter on September 27th, that means that we're on break for both One Piece and My Hero Academia this upcoming we're on break like usual this upcoming Sunday. So on the 27th, it is going to be those chapters are going to be released for both One Piece and My Hero Academia as well. Really wanted to learn the fourth user's quirk, but I guess it's a little too soon since Deku just got Float. That's how I feel. I feel like since we just got introduced to Midoriya using Float, like literally 2 chapters is a bit too soon for us to learn more quirks that he has. Because how long was it before we started thinking that he was going to get Nana Shimura's quirk Float? I feel like there was a considerable amount of time. The mangakas must be friends, talking to each other, how they always have the same breaks. I feel like that may be the case. We're all like, well, we're going on break. All right, so what are you guys going to do? We're going to wait for the break. Okay, wait for the break. But I feel like like you say, I feel it's too soon for us to get introduced to the next successor's quirk, since we're just now seeing Float. And I feel like Midoriya is going to need to mess with that quirk a little bit more before because when he had Black Whip, it was like wild and out of control. But it wasn't to the point where it was impossible for him to use. And some time has passed. A lot of time has passed in between him getting Black Whip all the way up until now. So now he has a little bit more control over it. Like he's able to grab multiple people. Even though his control is still shaky, he's at least able to grab multiple people. Like that time that one psychotic villain tried to kidnap Natsu way back when, and he ended up trying to kill a whole bunch of people, and Midoriya ended up grabbing like buses and cars and everything. His control over it has progressed exponentially ever since it was first introduced between the training between class 1A and 1B, all the way up until now that he has Float. Now, it's not perfect control, but he has much better control. So I feel like the next time we see the next quirk of the next successor, he's going to have a lot more control over Float by that time. That has to happen, because every time he gets a brand new quirk, it's always a little bit more controllable, at least a lot more controllable by the next time the next quirk pops up. Since it's so mysterious, it must be a powerful quirk. Can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see all the successors of One for All and all their quirks, save for the first user, because we know that his quirk was just one that allowed him to pass on quirks. That's what his quirk was. And then when his quirk mixed with the quirk that All for One gave him, that's how it became One for All. But the users after that point, those are the quirks I want to see. Because Midoriya is just turning into a all-around powerhouse. And once his body gets used to the point of using all those powers, can you imagine 7 different powers that Midoriya can use all at once? How much quirks Deku is getting? All right, so hold on. One for all. And there have been several successors. The first, yes, 7 successors. Oh, wait, no. In the past, it was used by previous host Nana Shimura, 1, Toshinori Yagi, All Might, 2, and 6 others before them. So in total, there are 8 quirks. Well, 7. Yeah, 8 quirks. There are 8 quirks in Midoriya, and he now has access to the super strength. He has access to the Black Whip, and now he has access to Float. So that means there are 5 more quirks that's in him that he has yet to fully access. Now, mind you, one of these quirks can be just the regular quirk of just passing stuff on. So in all honesty, he has like 4 quirks. The quirk to pass on One for All to another user, the super strength and super speed, like the superhuman aspect quirk. Like, that didn't come from All Might. So it had to have come from another user. Like the strength. 2 One for All users didn't have a quirk. If you mean All Might, then yeah, he didn't have one. He didn't have one. All Might and somebody else. Which makes you wonder, why didn't no one else get the others' quirks? I don't know. That's the question. For All Might to become not only the #1 hero, but the most powerful hero in the world, in the most powerful hero in Japan, I want to say most powerful hero in Japan, just Japan, because we haven't seen like heroes in America or anything like that. It's always been Japan. But for him to get to the level of strength that he was to become the #1 hero, yet never use or get access to any of the other quirks in his body at that present time, I feel maybe that is Deku's quirk, the ability to... Deku's quirk, the ability to unlock more quirks? There's got to be a better classification for how I'm saying that. The ability to surpass quirks? No. There's a phrase for what I'm trying to describe as far as what you're saying, Karma. Like maybe it's Deku's quirk to be able to... How do I say this without it sounding silly? The ability to... There's a word for what I'm trying to say, but I can't say it. Because I know what you're meaning, but trying to describe it and use it as a way to describe a quirk, it's the ability to seep... No. Like, it'd be simplistic for me to say the ability to unlock more quirks. You know Deku's doctor is All for One's doctor? Yes, I've been on this. Where you been at, sir? I know all this. We found that out a long time ago. We found that out when before his name was even found out. Because there was a lot of theories about it. How he looks similar and how the doctor we saw at the beginning of the series looks similar. Yeah, we know this. We already know this. But I'm still thinking about what you said, Karma. Why is it that no other user... Let's go with unlocked. That sounds good. Okay, so the ability to unlock more quirks. Peculiar way for him to have a quirk like that, even though he was told that he doesn't have a quirk in his body, or he's not capable of, his body was, he was born quirkless. Still peculiar. If it turned out to be a quirk, then why didn't the doctor at the beginning say he had a quirk? Peculiar. But overall, I feel like the mysteries of One For All, no one else got the quirks, is because One For All was weaker. But that doesn't make too much sense, since One For All actually got stronger as it was passed on to each successor. He probably doesn't have a quirk, but it's still weird that he's the only one who can unlock the quirks from the previous users. Maybe. Maybe it has something to do with Deku himself. I don't know, because you would think that people like Nanashimura or All Might would be able to, I don't know, unlock more of All For One given their prestige as heroes and their strength as heroes. Yet Midoriya is the latest user so far. To actually access all of its previous users' quirks, which makes me wonder that there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot more to One For All than it just simply passing on a quirk to another individual. Maybe it links to a person's potential. And if they lack that potential, then maybe they're not able to access One For All at its fullest potential. Maybe. But it is peculiar, though. I want to find out more about One For All. Like, what's going on with the fourth user, and why won't All Might talk about it? Who are the other, like the 5th, 6th, and 7th users? I want to find those out. Well, we already know the previous users, but still. Maybe Deku unlocked his quirk when he got One For All. I don't know. There's more mysteries going on with One For All and All For One that they're telling us right now, and I guess we gotta wait until the next couple of chapters to kind of find out what's going on there. But all in all, what do I rate this chapter? I thought it was pretty good. It didn't get me up out of my seat in, sheer enjoyment and excitement. So it was still a good chapter. Nonetheless, don't get me wrong, this was still a great chapter, because now it just opens up more theories. Because now I want to know more about One For All and its successors and how they've impacted the quirk as a whole. I want to know more about One For All as a whole, and in turn, I feel like if we find out more about One For All, then maybe we can find out more about All For One itself. Because and the thing that still gets me is that Shigaraki, we all know, Shigaraki is still pining for the chance to try and take One For All, but he still doesn't realize that One For All can't physically be taken, because otherwise All For One would have done it all those years ago. So it goes beyond just simple physical theft. I'm trying to find the right words for this. It goes beyond just being able to physically take it out of a user's body. So that leads me to believe that One For All has a lot of safeguards in it to make sure that no one but those who consider that person they're passing it on to worthy can actually have that power. And only if they choose to give them that. They said Bakugo traveled to the past because the little girl forgot her name. How would Bakugo travel to the past? This sounds like another theory. I don't know. It all seems press X to doubt. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know about Bakugo just traveling in time. Because when would he have done that? Is that really a theory that's going around? Bakugo traveled to the past because of the little girl? Because the little girl forgot her name. You mean Eri? Okay, I'm looking at the page for One for All right now. Okay, so I'm looking at the page. We got the bald guy. We got one of the users with 2 scars across his face. We got one that looks like All Might. We got Nana Shimura. We got the first user. We got another dude that looks like a dark version of Best Jeanist. We got one guy with the top knot looking hairstyle, and we got another one with spiky hair. That does not mean that that's specifically Bakugo, though. That does not necessarily mean that, because there's a lot of people with spiky hair. I mean, Kaminari has a spiky hair. That one guy from class 1B has spiky hair. The one that can cause earthquakes and shockwaves and stuff like that. He has spiky hair. There's a lot of people that have spiky hair in My Hero, so we can't just assume that that's Bakugo just because that individual has spiky hair. Because a bunch of people got spiky hair in My Hero. Even, especially in the short, spiky, swept to the side style. They got the same gear on their arms. I mean, you still can't tell, though. Like, in the panel where it shows the users passing on their quirk to another user, it does not, like, there's one here with the bald guy, another one with the scar across his face, and another one, and the other one with his high collar, and then there's another one where we just see, like, a pauldron on the side. Kind of reminds me of Sephiroth's pauldron. But that does not necessarily look just like Bakugo's gear, though. The black hair guy looks like Best Jeanist. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He just looks like a dark-haired version of Best Jeanist. Even though that's more than likely just a regular coat. But that's not necessarily Bakugo, though. And even though Eri's powers can evolve, it's not to say that she just sends people back in time. When she's like, her power is it reverses things. It doesn't send things back. It reverses things. So if she were to touch you, she'll reverse you back until non-existence if left unchecked. It's not sending you back through time. It is literally reversing your existence from the point where you are to the point where you're no longer. Not gonna lie, the guy looks kinda like Bakugo. I still don't see it, though. I'm sorry, but I still don't see it. I'm looking at this panel. Like I said, there's a bunch of people with spiky hair. We can't just say that it's Bakugo. I personally don't think it's Bakugo. I can't say that. Because there's a lot of spiky-haired people, just like I said. Highly doubt if Bakugo would wear normal clothes. Highly doubt that it's him, though. Then why are the two One for All users hidden? Because they haven't been revealed yet. But that's not to say that it's Bakugo. The other is Todoroki. Right. Oh, boy. I love these theories, though. but I highly doubt that's the case. But I'm not going to keep you guys any longer because then I'll start rambling. Overall, this was a really good chapter. I enjoyed it. Just opens up more questions and more theories for what One for All is and why All Might's holding back information about certain people that used to use One for All, specifically the fourth user. Also, his words of, it's not only the wicked that seek power. So it makes me wonder, maybe it's not just specifically All Might's power. No, let's keep talking. Okay, alright. But it's not just, when I think about it, and he says that it's not just the wicked that seek power, the more I think about it, it's not just specifically speaking of One for All and getting All Might's quirk, but perhaps it is people that are heroes seek power and control, just like a villain would, but they're a hero doing it in the name of good. So makes me believe that there are some heroes, some individuals that are on the good side that actually want to have a little bit farther reach than just being like your average hero. So it makes me wonder who could possibly fit that bill, and does this also mean that this individual may be the very mole that just leaked information? Because we still haven't found out who the mole is. Mind you, this is all going on and we still haven't found out who the rat is in the Hero Association that was leaking information out to the villains. We still don't know that. So it'd be interesting to find out who's in the Hero Association, trying to pull some strings, trying to, manipulate things from the hero side. But to what end, I'm still curious. And I'm looking at this quirk now, like, Midoriya has really progressed his use of One for All ever since, like, the moment he got it, all the way up to the point where he started fighting Bakugo, all the way up until now. Got All Might's moves, Midoriya moves. I'm just looking through here. So far, every named user has a number in their name, somehow correlating to what number of users they are. Daigoto Banjo has a kanji in his given name that's homophonous to 5. Nana Shimura, given name, is a homophone to 7 in Japanese. Toshinori Yagi has a kanji for 8 in his name. One of the kanji in Izuku's given name is harmonious to 9. And the rat is Invisible Girl. That's what I said. She's never there, and she probably can turn invisible. That's what I think too. That's way too obvious. That's just way too obvious. Let's have the person who can turn invisible be the person that's leaking information out to the villains. That's way too on the nose. That's way, like, it's too obvious. Like, this person's invisible. That means they can sneak in and do whatever they want and leak information if they were working for the villains. It's way too obvious. I feel like if it's just like, this person can turn invisible, which means that they're good at sneaking, which means that they can do whatever they want and no one will ever know. It's her! I just feel it's too obvious for it to be. It's too obvious to be her. I don't think she's really the rat, but I do think she can turn her quirk off. That's what I think as well. Because I highly doubt the drawback to using her quirk is she can be invisible, but she can't turn it off. Hold on, let me pull her up. Class 1A. Toru Hagakure. But yeah, it's just a bit on the nose. Fairly short, completely invisible body. She's only identifiable through held or worn objects. She claims to look like a fusion of Yang Guifei and Francis Xavier. So, Francis Xavier. The person that's less obvious is the person that's the traitor. So Kota then. And Yang Guifei. How does she know what she looks like? Hey, it just leads to reason that I'm pretty sure she can turn invisible and turn it off. Due to the nature of her quirk, her hero costume consists only of a pair of light blue gloves decorated by pale pink lines and light brownish gray lace-up shoes. So, to be quite honest, in order for her overall abilities, quirk, invisibility. Toru's quirk is that her body is completely invisible. As part of her training, she worked on improving her stealth prowess by remaining undetected from the sensory-efficient Meizo Shoji. In addition, Toru has learned how to use the light manipulation capabilities of her quirk, being able to refract light inside of her and intensify it, making her capable of blinding people. After her hero work studies with Yoroi Musha, Toru has strengthened and improved her ability, being able to manipulate Yuga's naval laser. Where was she in all of this war? Hard to tell because she's invisible, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to tell where she's at because she's invisible. So it's, and the thing is, if you put her hands up in a crowd, you will not be able to see her because it's like trying to play Where's Waldo? Where are the gloves in this giant crowd of people? And don't let it be a crowd of people just wearing all gloves, because then you'll never find her. But where has she been? Don't know, because being invisible makes you very hard to track. She must be the shyest person ever, or she's hiding something. Well, wouldn't you be invisible if the only way you can have a superhero outfit requires you to only have gloves and shoes and nothing else on? I'd say that she might be a bit shy around that area. And looking at her early concept art, she was originally supposed to have a mask over her head, and she was supposed to have like trinkets and like more stuff instead of just gloves and shoes. But apparently Shuhei decided to go in a different direction for her. In an extra comic drawn by Yoko Aikiyama, Toru shows her classmates a family picture in which nothing is visible apart from the clothes of her and her parents, which may imply that they also have the invisibility quirk or one of a similar nature. What if Tenya is the rat? Ida? Of all people, Ida? This stickler for rules? This person who has a problem of people just merely sitting on top of their desk? Has an issue of Bakugo propping his feet up? Always tries to be punctual? And always calls out people who are not? Ida is the rat? I doubt that. He's like Double D. He doesn't want to break the rules and get into trouble. At least that's how his personality is. So I highly doubt that it's Ida of all people. What if it's no one from Class A whatsoever? Because all these people that I keep hearing about, like who's the rat, it doesn't have to necessarily be people from Class 1A. It could be someone from Class 1B. Think about it. You're always seeing the class students from 1A all the time. And sure, you see class 1B half the time, but we don't know too much about the personalities of every single individual in class 1B to say, like, there's not a single person in there that would be the traitor. A lot of people, there could be someone in class 1B, or maybe it's not someone who's in the hero course at all. It could be, like you say, Karma, it could be a pro hero. Or maybe the sidekick of a pro hero. We don't know. It's not just class 1A and 1B or people that are in UA. It could be anyone. And we just don't know. Oh my goodness. There's just a lot of stuff now. I'm just thinking of a lot of things right now. But Todoroki versus Dabi, can't wait. Light Sasuke versus Itachi. That'd be interesting, but we need confirmation before we start speculating that it's a brother versus brother fight. So, overall, interesting prospects of what this chapter means for the next set of chapters. Wow, I normally don't go this long for my My Hero Academia chapters. It usually lasts like 20-something minutes, but I'm glad I actually stopped and took the time to talk to you guys, because I normally don't go this long for My Hero Academia, but I'm still happy to have done this. So, overall, very curious. Sorry if I'm scratching my eyes all the time. My eyes have just been really bothering me, and they've been really itchy. I know it's not allergies or anything. I'm just trying to find out why they're so itchy, and they burn a little bit, like in the corners, and it's really itchy around the edges sometimes. I don't know. Maybe I need some eye drops or something. But I'm glad you did this long. I'm glad as well. But it also means it opens up me being able to do some gaming streams a little bit later on today. Because, well, I do have work later tonight, but it leaves me time to play some games and do some other things for you guys. I still need to work on my voiceover videos, so I'll probably do that a little bit today and probably get those up before this evening. The next character I'm trying to voice, I'm doing like voiceover work for myself because I just want to see what type of range I can hit. So that's sort of things that I've been doing a little bit lately. And there's some other things that are lined up that I kind of want to do for you guys as well. There's some games I want to play with you guys, well, for you guys, and some streams I want to have and videos I want to make. A lot of things on my plate right now of things that I actually want to do. So I'm just piecing it all together to figure out what we're going to do from here. But that's where I'm going to end it here for today, folks, because it is time for me to go ahead and get my lunch, because I'm but hungry right now. So thank you everyone for just enduring this long stream. I know it's not as professional as I say professional, but when have I ever been professional when it comes to this? Never. There hasn't been a moment where it's all like, yo peoples, QQ92 here to bring you yet another reaction for whatever manga that I'm reading. It's never been professional, but I'm just glad that you guys come out here and see me. I really do appreciate it. Can't wait for the PlayStation 5, if you can get one. Oh boy, people up there waiting for times to actually pre-order this thing, and it says, and you just refresh the page. It says it's in stock. You refresh the page and it says, nope, out of stock. I didn't try to get it because I knew this would happen. The moment the lines and pre-orders got lined up for the PS5, I knew for a fact that people were just going to bombard the sites trying to pre-order their one thing. And people are still having a hard time trying to pre-order it. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer before I try to pre-order mine so I can get it, because people are so extra with this, and people are just, it's going to be hard. Out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, every single second of every single day. That's how it is. But I'm just going to wait for mine. I'm going to wait for my chance to get one. I know I'm going to get one. I'm just going to wait for my chance to get one. But I digress. People using their mom's credit card. Yeah, those same kids that are playing Fortnite trying to buy all those skins, or playing FIFA Ultimate Team or Madden Ultimate Team or whatever Ultimate Team that EA is, manipulating people to get their money. I would buy a PS5 just because of God of War and Spider-Man. That's pretty much the reason why I'm getting a PS5. Miles Morales is the reason why I'm getting a PS5. God of War is the reason why I'm going to keep it. God of War Ragnarok. It doesn't have an official title, but you know that's what it is. God of War Ragnarok. The end of the Norse world is coming. And Kratos is going to be there. He literally brought the end of the Greek gods. And now he's going to bring the end of the Norse gods. If we don't get a Thor versus Kratos fight, or a Thor versus Odin fight, it's not truly Ragnarok. Beating Thor and Odin is going to be amazing. Oh boy, good lord, I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for that. God of War, it's such an amazing game. But I digress. Thank you everyone for showing up. Sorry, I tend to ramble, but when you guys start talking about games, y'all sidetrack me real quick. But thank you everyone for coming out to see me. Hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you happen to be a new viewer here on this channel for the very first time, then maybe consider subscribing, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So that being said, have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later peoples! I should have got Kratos' axe when it was on sale, just so I could have it in the back corner of my room. I should have got it.